I like weird stuff. What's good, everybody? It's Ballz. Back with another video. Now, a couple weeks ago, I did a explanation and why video. That one specifically was about why I do YouTube. Now, that one didn't come out as good as I planned, but the point still came across. You understand why. This one specifically is about why reptiles, why ball pythons specifically. There's a lot of people that have asked me that really don't like reptiles in general, and specifically don't like snakes. And when they find out that I'm working with ball pythons, I'm working with snakes and reptiles, they always ask, why don't you like regular animals like cats and dogs? Why you have to mess with snakes? Those are the devil. They're sent by the devil. They're evil. Why reptiles? They're so slimy and scaly. There's a few reasons for specifically reptiles. Nothing against mammals. I've had my fair share of cats, dogs, hamsters, ferrets, all kinds of stuff. And I think they're amazing. I think they're great animals. They're really smart. But they're not very challenging. Now, don't get me wrong. Trying to train a cat to do anything is challenging. Cats I'm not really a big fan of in the first place, but I did have a couple cats when I was a little bit younger, and not only did they mess everything up and they were unruly, they did whatever they felt like it, but once you open the door, they're pretty much outside cats from there on out. They're not coming back until they feel like it or until she's pregnant or whatever the case may be. Now dogs, I did have a dog. I've had a couple of dogs. Most of them weren't mine, but one specifically I had for about 10 or 11 years. I had her since she was a puppy, and I gained an emotional attachment with her, and it was absolutely ridiculous. When she passed, it broke me because my life was so messed up that I felt like she was the only one that understood me. You know, dogs are so loving for no reason. You can beat the crap out of them and they'll still love you, which is why you'll find these bad situations where dogs are being abused, but they still sit by their owners. And it's horrible. And that's not the case here. What I'm saying is she grew old. She was with me when I was homeless. She was with me when I had no place to go. Nobody else wanted to know about me. And she was with me. And when she died, it broke me. It was such an emotional attachment. It's like losing a child. Now, reptiles, they don't really have that same emotional attachment as, say, your dog would. This guy right here, he's cool as hell and he really loves being handled, and it would really hurt me if something happened to him. But if somebody else was taking care of him, he wouldn't be sitting at the door crying, waiting for me to come home all day. He'd be waiting for his next meal. And so I guess that emotional detachment helps a lot. But aside from all that craziness, which nobody really cares about most of the time anyway, reptiles, they're different, they're challenging. You gotta figure out how to take care of them. You have to actually know about their living situation in the wild to have an idea of what's going on in their heads, what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, what they really want out of life, and what they really need out of life. Because you can't just throw a ball python or a bearded dragon in a tank with nothing in it and throw crickets at it and expect it to be happy. Same thing goes with the ball python. You can't really throw it in a tank with no heat, with a light sitting on it, and expect it to be happy. Most of the time, it's not going to eat. It's probably going to lose weight, stress out. It's going to have horrible sheds. We all know the bad stories. Me, personally, I do ball pythons because these are really cool creatures. They're a lot different. They're very underappreciated. And now in the mainstream, they're getting a lot of attention, mainly within the past 15 years, 10, 15 years. And that's mainly because their colors are starting to change. A lot of different things are changing about them, their patterns, their colors, the different traits that come along with them, recessives and codominants and supers. These are all crazy ideas that you don't really see very often, and once you understand how it all works, it's really intriguing. And it's not just ball pythons. There's a lot of reptiles that have those kind of genetics that you can play with. They just haven't been tapped as much. Me personally, I've always wanted snakes. When I was a kid, I wanted a boa. I used to live in the Bronx. Imagine a red-tailed boa in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx, and then realizing how big it's getting after 2-3 years. Not even feasible. That's what I wanted when I was a kid. I never understood about any of that. I had lizards, I had garter snakes. Those are more manageable. You can have an anole as long as you're heating it up right. I've had 2 garter snakes. I had bearded dragons when I was a kid. When I was younger, not a kid. And I didn't understand how to take care of them. But these ball pythons, to me, they're so intriguing. A lot of people don't think that they have very much mental capacity. They have plenty. It's just a lot that we need to learn about them. Right now, we're just fascinated about how pretty they look and how cool they can look with their patterns. But there's a lot about reptiles that we really don't know how that brain works. It's not always just about food, clothes, medicine. It's not just the reptilian brain. Yeah, they do need all that stuff, but most of the time, they're just cruising. If you follow Kevin McCurley, a lot of his stuff has to do, a lot of his research and a lot of his work with the monitors and other snakes and other reptiles is trying to figure out how their brain works. When you get a snake that you can't deal with, you kind of have to build those threads. I'm not going to go into it because Kevin McCurley's a genius, and to try to wrap my head around his head, it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a longer video. But yeah, man, it's not just snakes. It's not just ball pythons. I do have other reptiles, and we'll go into that in other videos. But why not? You know, a lot of misconceptions with them. They feel slimy. They actually really don't. Look, they're evil. This guy's trying to kill me. Oh my God. You're not doing any of that. He realizes I'm not anything that he can actually eat. Look at this body. He could barely put my hand in there. There's nothing threatening about this. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody that's super hungry, like this girl right here. If I open that tub, she's gonna come flying out looking for food. She doesn't give a crap that it's my hand. She just registers the heat signature. But that's not her fault. But everything about them intrigues me. And I see a lot of people being caught by it too. Sometimes you can show them the right animal, like one of these. This is an orange dream pie. You pull a piebald out to somebody that doesn't like snakes, they're gonna go, ooh, what's that? And if you don't like snakes or reptiles, you cannot tell me that this doesn't pique your interest. Just a little bit. Look at this. It's amazing. Yeah, they come in these colors. Now, my audience is not usually My audience is not usually people that don't know anything about reptiles, but every once in a while, it's either a new customer that just got their first snake off of me, or just somebody stumbling along some weird channels that they don't understand and they're trying to figure out, or maybe they just get stuck in a loop or something. But hopefully this will give you an insight as to why I do reptiles, why I do ball pythons specifically. I don't breed anything else aside from ball pythons. Maybe in the future, I was thinking about some hog noses, and if I understand the genetics right, maybe. Blood pythons, that's kind of pushing my boundaries there, because they're a little bit more challenging per se. But they're beautiful animals, and the different genetics that are worked in blood pythons is also pretty much untapped. But they are a stronger, heavier bodied animal. And I'm not really sure I'm ready for it, but I do want to keep one as a pet pretty soon. Like I said, I do have other reptiles. I have a bearded dragon, and I have a children's python, another snake. I'm pretty sure you hear the rats squeaking in the background. Some of them are actually pets, they're not just breeder feeders. I have tarantulas. I have 2 scorpions in this room right now. There's a lot of weird stuff that I'm into. And maybe it's just the attraction to something different. I'm not the mainstream guy. I don't listen to whatever is hot on the radio. I don't watch whatever is hot on YouTube or whatever is hot on Netflix or Hulu. I kind of get into a lot of weird stuff that nobody really understands. That Wu-Tang stuff, people are just getting an understanding about now. But this is not about music. This is about animals. I like weird stuff. And if you're watching this, you probably do too. So, like I said, that's just an insight as to why I do reptiles and why I do snakes, and ball pythons specifically. Hopefully, you have the same love for some kind of animal that's a little bit different as well. Either way, thank you guys very much for watching and listening to my ramblings. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for notifications on future videos that are coming up. Thank you guys for sticking around with me. Smile big and hustle hard.